Oh, man. All right. In this video, we're gonna go over 5 things that sellers absolutely need to know when it comes to a purchase contract before they sign it. These are things that you may not know about, but you really need to know about. Things like, is the buyer pre-qualified? That's important. What type of loan are they using? Which title company are they using? The buyers, which title company are the buyers using? The timeline for the buyer's inspections, and we'll go over why that's important. And the number one thing that you as a seller need to know about a purchase contract when you receive one, the estimated net to seller. Let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, my name's Josh Barnett with eXp Realty. See, eXp Realty. I have a team, the Appreciation Realty team over eXp Realty, and we help sellers sell their houses in Oklahoma. And we've got referral agents throughout the nation and throughout the state if we're not working directly in your area. So if you're a seller who's thinking about selling their house and you're like, hey, that was a good video that Josh put on, reach out to us. Our contact info is down in the description below. We'd love to chat with you about helping you sell your home or land. Like I said before, is the buyer pre-qualified? The reason that's super important is you don't want to miss 5 days of other buyers who are pre-qualified being able to purchase your home. If you sign a purchase contract and you have it verified that that buyer is pre-qualified and able to purchase your home with a loan by a pre-approval letter, or what is it called? What is that thing called? Oh, a letter of funds. A letter of funds from the banker. Then you are stuck with that buyer for 5 days, and then you have to give them notice to cancel. You have to give them notice to cancel if they never produce that pre-approval letter or that letter of funds within that 5 days. So you could literally be losing out on 5 days of another buyer who is interested in your home, or you could be accepting an offer by a buyer who's not pre-qualified and skipping over. If you have multiple offers, 2, 3, 4 other offers, you could be skipping over the buyers that are pre-qualified to purchase your home. And then you have to go back to them after that buyer doesn't produce their pre-qualification letter or their letter of funds. So the first thing you want to do as a seller when you're looking at a real estate contract is absolutely make sure your agent will already be asking for it, because we'll have this conversation during the listing appointment, and we'll be making sure that all offers already know that they have to send in their pre-approval letter. Make sure your agent, if you didn't hire my team and I, get that pre-approval letter or that letter of funds before you agree to work with that buyer. Because that buyer may not even be a real buyer. Yes, there's still people out there who show houses and help buyers write offers without the buyers actually being pre-approved. Can't recommend that. Can't recommend that at all. Let's talk about number 2. The loan type that is being used on your home. The reason it's important is because if they're trying to use a USDA loan, but they may not qualify for the USDA loan due to household income or the home not being in a USDA rural home loan area. So, or if it's a home that needs a little bit of repairs, but it's a nice home still, you know, it's still like a $400,000 home with a pool, but it needs a little bit of repairs, and you're helping a trust sell a home, well, you don't want the trust to have to do any repairs because you're selling it as is, because a lot of times the trusts aren't always fully funded. And when they're not fully funded, well, you can't spend money doing repairs because the trust, all of its funds aren't liquid. They're tied up in stocks, or they're tied up in the house itself, the real estate itself, or the oil and gas rights. That's where all the assets to the trust are. But there may not be cash to do any fix up on the home. So that's why the loan type is so important. The house may be needing to be sold as is. That means it won't go FHA, VA, or USDA. Or if the buyer's trying to use a USDA loan and the house isn't located in a USDA area, or the buyer's household income is more than USDA allows, you'll know that pretty much up front, because I know all you sellers out there stalking the buyers on Facebook and social media. I know you sellers do that. Trust me, I get it. I totally understand. It's your right to do that. So yeah, if you're like, wow, this guy works for the state of Oklahoma and he's the attorney general, he's making $220,000 a year, that cat's not gonna qualify for a USDA rural home loan. He's not. I mean, maybe if he has like 12 children. I'm not a lender, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, if he's got 12 children, he might. But if he's just got like 2 kids and a wife, no way is he qualifying for a USDA home loan. Make sure the home loan works for your house. That's item number 2. Let's talk about item number 3. Right before we get into item number 3, let me make sure the screen's on. Okay, and the mic's working. I gotta do a mic check. Mic check. Okay, right before we talk about item number 3, guys, I want to do a call to action. This house that we're walking through, at the time of shooting this video, this home is available. So if you're in the market for a 3,700 square foot in Edmond, Oklahoma, that backs up to a lake, there's a literal lake behind the house. Here, let me show you the pictures. See, I told you. There's a lake behind the house, and did you see that park that was across the lake? If you're in the market for a house like this, then guys, click on the link below, get some more info on the house, and then reach out to my team and I. We'd love to help you with this home and all your real estate needs throughout the state of Oklahoma and throughout the nation. Reach out, our information is down below. Let's get back to item number 3. Item number 3 is the title company. And the reason the title company matters, guys, is because they're the hub that's talking to the buyer's agent, that's talking to the buyers, that's talking to the sellers, that's talking to the banker, that's talking to the closing department for the banker, that's wiring out the funds, that's setting up the closing appointment, that's doing all that. Guys, I've worked with some horrible title companies who are like, we don't care that the contract is closing early, that everybody is ready to close on the house. We don't care about that, Josh. The contract date says, I don't know, October 30th, Josh. So because of that, you all have to wait another 2 weeks before you can close, because that's when we plan on closing it. Are you kidding me? Everybody's ready to close. And this title company, who is making a significant amount of money off of the title insurance policy for the home, is saying, no. You guys all work around our schedule. Even though the contract says closing on or before a certain date, and everybody's ready, that title company's like, nope, we don't care that everybody's ready. You can wait to close until we're ready. Guys, I don't know about you, but that's not customer service in my book. That is like the opposite of customer service. So another example of a bad title company is a title company literally trying to cause more steps, more problems to a closing based off deed restrictions that aren't even in the deed. Yes, deed restrictions that aren't even in the abstract. Here in Oklahoma, we're an abstract state. So if you're working with a title company and they come up with some crazy title requirement that has nothing to do with that property, or something that's so far in the past it doesn't matter anymore, it's already been taken care of one way, but they want to take care of it their way, guys, that's going to slow down closing. It might even disqualify your buyer. That's right. Your buyer may even become disqualified because of that title company's delay in doing a title requirement that's not necessarily required. It's just what they want to do to make sure that they've got good title, but it's not an actual title requirement that other title companies will put on the property. That buyer's rate might expire. The rates may rise a quarter point, and then that buyer may not qualify anymore due to debt to income ratio, because the payments are too high, because the rate's another quarter point. So that's why you got to absolutely make sure that the title company on the contract is a good title company that your real estate agent has worked with before. If you've hired my team and I, we'll let you know. And if they get things closed, or if they just cause extra problems, it might cause you to lose your buyer. So the third thing that's super important on a contract, long story long, when it comes to a seller selling their house, make sure that that title company is a reputable, good title company who doesn't just make up extra work to cause everybody possibly not to be able to close. Item number 4 that sellers need to be aware of when they're signing a purchase contract with a buyer: the timeline for inspections. The timeline for inspections, guys, if they're putting, 20 days for a timeline for inspections, isn't this awesome? This is such an awesome house. If they're putting 20 days for a timeline for inspections, plus they're not starting their inspections for another week out, guys, that is almost a whole month. Yeah, that's almost a whole month before you can get your inspections done. Do you really think you need to wait a whole month? Do you really need to think you need to wait for a buyer to do inspections on a residential house a whole month? No, you don't. Most buyers, almost all of them, can get their inspections done in 2 weeks, roughly 2 business weeks or 2 weeks. So 14 days, basically. If a buyer needs more than 14 days to get their inspections done, why? Why is that taking so long? They need a really good reason. There might be a really good reason. Maybe it's hunting season. When it's hunting season here in Oklahoma, all the home inspectors, they're out there hunting. So yes, it takes longer during hunting season, you know, Thanksgiving, the winter solstice, all those things that people celebrate. It takes longer to get the inspections done during that time. Isn't this an awesome dining room? This is such a cool house. I can't get over it. It takes time during those times of the season to get your inspections done. It absolutely does. I get it, I understand. But if it's like, I don't know, May or June, and they need a month to do inspections, you really gotta ask yourself, why? What's going on there? What are they having to do? It might be their financing. They might be trying to qualify for extra grant money or something like that. Find that information out. It's your right as a seller to know, and if they want a really long home inspection time period, it's okay to ask why. You're getting ready to go into one of the largest transactions of your life. You need to have everything out on the table. The buyer and the seller needs to be upfront with each other and working things out for a win-win situation. If they don't have a reason why they want a month's worth home inspection, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's up to you to make that decision. Me personally, I wouldn't wait. Me as a seller, if it were my house, I wouldn't wait a month for someone to do their inspections. I would pull it back to 2 weeks unless they had a really good reason. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're an agent, a broker owner, or team leader who's ready to just focus on sales, focus on the team, focus on production, and you're done dealing with the accounting, following up on paperwork, if you're done dealing with the training, you know, that monotonous training, not that fun sales training, but the training, the transaction follow-up, even mailing out commission checks to your agents or your team members, guys, reach out to me. My contact information is down in the description below. Josh Barnett with eXp Realty. I'd love to work with you over eXp Realty, and I'd love to have a short 20-minute conversation on why eXp Realty is obsessed with your success. Whether you're an agent, a team leader, a broker owner, eXp Realty has the tools, the training, the technology to take your real estate business to the level that you want to take it to. Love to chat with you more about that. Contact info down in the description below. Let's talk about the number one thing that you as a seller need to know about that purchase contract is the bottom line. After the commissions are paid, after title's paid, after any concessions are paid, and after potential repairs are paid, you need to know what the bottom line is on that check that you're walking out of that door with. That is the number one thing that you need to know as a seller. I cannot stress that enough. You need to make sure that that agent can explain those costs to you item by item with truthfulness, with a response that lets you know that they're serious and they know their numbers. You don't want to go to closing and find out you got a check that's $5,000 short, do you? No, you don't. You need to make sure that that net to seller says exactly what you want it to say. Because when you sign that contract, you're agreeing to everything in there. If that net to seller is off, that's something that you've agreed to. If it's $5,000 short from the estimated net to seller, you need to know why. Why is that $5,000 short? What happened? Now, maybe you agreed to a $5,000 concession during the inspection period, or maybe during the appraisal, you had to go pay a contractor $2,500 who's willing to get paid at closing, which is a really cool contractor, and that's where that extra $2,500 is at. But you need to know those numbers line by line, and you need to feel confident that your agent knows what each one of those numbers are also. That net to seller is the number one thing that you need to know as a seller when it comes to signing that purchase contract. This house has an outdoor fireplace too, an outdoor fireplace. And yes, that is the primary suite door that leads to this giant covered back patio that's downstairs. And yep, that other patio that we were on, that's the upstairs patio right there, guys. This house's contact info is down in the description below too. If you're a seller who's thinking about selling a house and buying a house, reach out to me. At the time of this video, shoot, this house was available. My team and I would love to help you sell your home so you could come buy this home or another home just like it, guys. Josh Barnett, eXp Realty. If you know any seller who's thinking about selling their house and you found value in this video, maybe it's a spouse, significant other, maybe it's a brother or sister, a sibling, and you're having to sell a house in a trust, share this video with them too so they know what to look out to when it comes time to selling their house. All right, I'm gonna go shoot a 360 open house tour on this video now so I can get that uploaded too. And don't forget, this video right here, it's another video that the algorithm thinks you might be interested in, that video right there. And then this video right here, right there, that video right there, that's a playlist. That's a whole playlist about how to sell your home videos that I've made. All right, guys, see ya on the next one.